It's a great pleasure to welcome Pedrito Martinez here to Jazz 91 KCSM. Pedrito, one of the preeminent percussionists of our time, and he is somebody that's going to be coming to town performing at the initial kickoff concert of the Yerba Buena Gardens Festival on Saturday, May the 4th. Pedrito, how's it going? ¿Cómo estás?
How are you? I'm very much looking forward. I'm so excited. Thanks a lot for that beautiful presentation.
Well,
Thanks a lot for having me in your space. You know, it's such a great honor for me to be back in one of the most iconic and more coolest, venues in San Francisco, in the Bay Area, the Yerba Buena Garden Festival, one of the greatest festivals.
Well, San Francisco loves you, Pedrito. They really do. I mean, I've seen you many times in San Francisco, playing with Contumbao, playing with your groups. And of course, you never disappoint us. But the very first time I saw you, it was at the Stern Grove Festival. You guys you were with Yerba Buena, and you guys were opening up for Toto La Moponcina over
Oh,
there.
wow.
And it
Long
was
time ago, man.
yeah, it was a beautiful thing. But
Oh,
you've come a long way, Pedrito, since those days with Yerba Buena.
I
And I
know.
mean, it's been a pretty good journey for you, man.
I can't complain, man. I just came from Atlanta. I was recording for Saturday Night Live. They doing a new series called Saturday Night Live 1975 with John Batiste. And then I'm here because I'm gonna perform tomorrow at Coachella Festival with John Batiste. It's gonna be our second concert. So I can't complain, man. Life been great for me and my career been going, in the right direction.
Well, it's beautiful because, Pedrito, you really have served as a bridge, un puente, from, the latter, the older congueros that we all admired when we were coming up, Mongo Santa Maria, Candido
Oh, yeah.
Calero, all those guys that really came from the old school, la vieja guardia. But, you
Ah,
came at a time, when you brought in some of the newer things that were happening with the conga, from Cuba. You were one of the students that worked with the great Tatawines. You also worked with los muñequitos de matanza. So you learned the folklore. You learned, how to manage this speed and this very wonderful sense. As far as the conga, how you see it today, how do you feel you have helped to advance it? ¿Cómo has avanzado, decimos, a la conga?
I mean, first of all, I can't forget. I never are going to forget what I came from. And you mentioned some of the pioneers, some of my heroes, like Mongo, Armando Peraza, Patato Badek, Candido Camero, Mongo Santa Maria. All of them were a great inspiration for me. And it's been a long journey, and it's been very hard to keep the legacy, and to keep alive, what they did is a big responsibility for me, and it's one of my mission, to keep alive their names and the legacy. And I'm so honored that I have been having opportunities that I had opportunity in the past to play with a lot of them. I play with Tata Winners when I used to live in Cuba. I play with Peraza, I play with Mongo, I play with Candido, with Patato. I mean, it's it's such a great feeling, but at the same time, as I was telling you before, it's a huge responsibility to keep, to try to adjust the new sound of the congas, the new, way that the new generation now is playing the congas, and combine it with the old school and keep it like warm and powerful. And I've been trying to do that all these years.
And you've done it well. You've done it well.
Thank you,
One of the
man.
thing, one of the things that I really do appreciate though is that you do stay rooted. You remember those roots. And for you, as a little kid, in Cayo Hueso, there in Havana, what did you hear? What was it that gravitated you to that drum?
Actually, my mom used to sing, and my mom's oldest brother, he was one of the most iconic and famous conga players from Cuba, from Havana. His name was Antonio Campos, and his nickname was Nico. And a lot of people used to call him Watusi. He used to play with Peyo Lafrocan, with Fajardo Sus Estrellas. So he was a great conguero. He was an innovator. And unfortunately, when I born, I never met him, just by pictures and recordings. But yeah, my mom has been telling me all this year, oh my God, you play like like you uncle. And I mean, it feels great because I've been talking, I asked Changuito, you met Antonio? He said, bro, he was one of the greatest. And when I used to be in Tata Winner's band, he used to talk about my uncle too. And he said he was great. So, I grew up in a neighborhood called Cayo Hueso where, I was surrounded by great percussion players and rumberos and bataleros and santeros and babalawos, people that used to be into religion, 24 hours. So right in front of my house, there's a park called Parque Trillo. What they used to do, the giras por los barrios, like all the orchestras used to come and perform right in front of my house. And it was so cool that I was watching all the concerts, sitting in the balcony of my house. So, I mean, I grew up listening to a lot of music and watching a lot of orchestras and groups in my neighborhood. It helps a lot.
Well, you were breathing it, brother. You were breathing it. Era el aire, and then
Claro.
and then that's a beautiful thing. But the other thing that people love about you, Pedrito, is que siempre tienes una sonrisa and your voice. People love your singing voice, man. Tienes una alegría. You're happy, bro. But
Always, brother.
tell me
You
about your voice. I mean, and your singing, because the thing that I really admire as well is that you also do know a lot of the very traditional chants of Santeria, which you will put into the music, and it really uplift us all. But when did you discover your voice?
Actually, I learned in the street. I never went to school of music. I never had the opportunity to go to school of music and learn music. So I learned in an unusual way. It was in the street. And actually, man, it was great. It was a great journey for me because I learned from a lot of beautiful people, man, with a big heart, surrounded with a lot of bataleros, Pancho Quinto, Mario Spirina, my godfather Roman. So it was a beautiful experience for me. But at the same time, in the folklore world, it is essential that you sing, play, and dance. So I grew up doing those three things at the same time. Accidentally, it was like I was doing it because I saw everybody doing it. And then when I was playing and not singing, they used to say, hey, you have to sing background vocals. You have to sing. So you have to dance. It was something that came natural for me. I never thought I was going to be able to sing. And then, when I got here in United States in 1998, I already was like that type of musician that used to sing, dance, and play at the same time. So it was part of that was in my veins, in my system already. So I feel uncomfortable when I'm not doing the three things at the same time. And at the same time, I grew up in a very like tight family. My mom and dad been together for many years. I have three more brothers. We are very, tight. So I grew up with a lot of, not a lot of material things, but with a lot of love. And
Mhm.
that's what I'm trying always to share with people: happiness, rather love and confidence, you know?
And you do that, Pedrito, because you really do come across, with really a great sincerity, una humildad, that I think is really something that is part of your character, which I think is very, very important. But now, I see you. I saw you recently performing at NPR's Little Desk concert, and you have totally turned around, the congas. I was very blessed to have grown up around a wonderful conguero by the name of Francisco Aguabella. And
Oh my
Aguabella,
God.
and Agua, and Aguabella started playing four congas, bro. And when we used to see him playing with four congas, forget about it. He was like,
Francisco Oea was a monster.
He
He
was. But now
was
you're
a
playing with
beast.
four congas, three cymbals, a cajon, bongos,
Let me tell you
unas
the history about that. You know, I had a residency in San Luis, Jazz Bistro with Alfredito Rodriguez, the piano player from Cuba.
uh-huh.
And then I was telling Alfredito, bro, we need to figure it out what we're gonna do. We're gonna be the whole week performing here, and we need to sound huge. We need to sound big, man. You know, the audience, I don't want them to get bored and they start walking, you know, leaving the the venue. And then by that time, I just had like four congas and one full pedal. And then he said, Pedrito, why you don't incorporate a hi-hat, cymbal, a table with some toys, bongos, bata, you know, try it. And I was like, well, why not? Let's try it. And honestly, when I start playing all those things at the same time, I start feeling so comfortable that after that tour, I went back to my group and I said, guys, I would like to play with this setup starting from now. And I keep that setup from there. I didn't, we don't even plan it either. We don't even rehearsal. We just did it, you know?
Well, you know what it is. You're an octopus, man.
It's crazy. People used to call me that, but I mean, a lot of people think that I was hours and hours practicing to you know to play that type of setup, and it came just natural. And I don't know, man, it feels great.
But you did. I mean, you know, you did spend some time, Pedrito, practicing. And
Oh
I mean,
yeah, many hours. I remember when I got here, I used to practice for 7, 8 hours, 8 hours a day, and my wife used to tell me, "You're gonna get sick," because I was feeling very unprepared to be in New York, one of the most cosmopolitan cities in the world, and everybody, all the musicians I met when I got in 1998 here were great musicians, and I was feeling, oh my God, I came from Cuba with the folklore that I know, but I think there's a lot more genre of music and things to learn in New York. So I was desperate learning and listening to a lot of music, and I remember I used to buy video cameras and put it all over the room and record myself to make sure that I was doing the exercise correct, that I was, you know, moving forward, learning new things and listening to a lot of different genre of music. I mean, it was, yeah, I practiced for hours and hours.
well, it shows, bro, because I mean, you know, you are such a wonderful performer to watch and to hear. Because the thing is that much like Patato, you know, you too have a melodic sense of the drum. Le sacas melodía al tambor. And I think that
Yeah, that's
also
our
you
piano.
was that?
We see the conga as a piano, not just as a percussion instrument. It's something that have melodies, harmonies, and you know you need to make music out of that, not just play as a, you know, as anybody can play any instrument. It's just to play it the right way, you know, and
I,
make you know. There's so many sounds, beautiful sounds you can get out of the conga, not just not hitting the conga, you know.
well, you know, one of the things that I've always heard a lot of congueros talk about is la mano secreta,
Uh,
the secret hand. And every time that I see you, I believe that you have a secret hand.
I mean, I always try to keep the Afro-Cuban culture, you know, that's what I've been devoted to. And, you know, I learned from Changuito, from Giovanni, from, you know, the people that really turn, put the percussion in another level. You know, they change the course of the percussion because they start moving and putting all the, you know, drums rudiments into the conga, Changuito and Giovanni. So, and I'm one of those, you know, I'm the generation that start going crazy with that. But at the same time, I always try to be careful not to, you know, sound like I'm a drummer in the congas. I want to sound like a conguero. I want to sound like an Afro-Cuban percussion player. You know, I want to say tell a story, not just to
Hmm.
play like just the speed and trying to show up. No,
Mhm.
you need to tell a story in the conga. There's time for speed, but this in general, you need to talk
Mhm.
slow,
Mhm.
say something in the percussion, in the instrument.
Well,
Like
that's like jazz, bro. I mean, that's what it is. In jazz, it is about that conversation and being able to, put it across. And that's one of the things that I've been really very respectful about what you've done, Pedrito, is that you have been able to fit into a lot of different styles of music, rock, funk, jazz,
yeah.
and being able to do it all smoothly. And for you, I mean, is there any music that really just kind of that oh man, I have to really study this. I have to because you really seem very natural with just about any type of musical challenge that is put before you.
Yeah, I mean, any kind of genre of music that I've been playing and learning all this year, it had been like a challenge for me. But because I love music so much and I take music so serious, I was being afraid that people call me just for one gig.
Mm.
I always make sure that people say, Pedrito, you want to be part of the band, man, because you sound so good with us. And I think that's essential for any kind of musician because you need to respect any kind of band leader, any kind of genre of music that you are invited to play. And I've been lucky, man, and I've been blessed that I've been having many opportunities to play many kind genre of music, and people still are counting on me. It's such a great feeling, and it's a learning experience. Every time I play with John Batiste, Camila Cabello, or Sting, Elton John, all those people that they've been playing with, Eric Clapton, this those are genius musicians that you always have something to learn from them. Even when you think you learn their music, they are very um that's a word, unpredictable.
Ajá.
You know,
Sorpresas, sorpresas.
you always there's something there's something always in concert that I was not expecting from them. I say, wow,
Mhm.
they're not there because it's like because luck. It's because they are genius, man.
That's the magic, though, bro. I mean, that's the magic. But
Yeah.
I think that too, when you started your own group, you really brought something that was really very, very fresh that I think a lot of us appreciated. For one, you didn't start a big band with a lot of horns or anything. You came in, with a group with a keyboard, you know what I mean, with a
Yeah,
wonderful
just a
rhythm
quartet.
section. Yeah, and exactly. But you also brought in what was really starting to happen on the island that we now really all love and respect, known as timba. You brought in with timba at a time when people didn't know what timba was, and now
Yeah,
and now you've made it part of the jazz world, and in particular, a lot of
yeah.
drummers are trying to figure out what is Perito playing. Let me see if I can learn it. You know what I mean? But talk about the beginnings of your group and those ideas, man.
Actually, we start in a restaurant called Guantanamera. Guantanamera is
Mhm.
located in Midtown, New York, in the 8th Avenue between 55th and 56th. And I started that restaurant from from the first day. When they opened the restaurant, the owner called me and I started performing there. I used to play there the whole week from Monday through Sunday, every day. So when I put the group together, I was extremely busy playing with Yerba Buena, touring with Yerba Buena, with Horacio El Negro Hernandez, his band. I was with Steve Tourette band, with Paquito Rivera. I was so busy. And then, but at the same time, I was having a place, a residency to perform and put together my music, man. It was unexpected. I was not expecting that I was gonna be a band leader one day. That was something also accidentally. It was just natural. We start playing. We start playing the music that I love the most when I used to live in Cuba. I told the guys in the group, guys, let's play Kepalo from Juan Formel. Let's play this song and this one that I really love. and please let's play the way we feel it. We're not gonna rehearsal. Let's just feel it. And everything came out like that. And after months, and then 1 year, I start seeing a lot of celebrities and famous musicians coming. And that's when I realized, and I told the guys in the group, guys, I think we're doing something good. Let's take this serious. Let's start, putting some music together. Let's do something. Let's make a record. And because, one day I saw, Quincy Jones sitting there, Steve Winwood, Clapton with his family, Steve Gadd, a lot of famous people. I said, wow. Winter Marsalis. It was great, man, to play in this little club and see all those, people that you admire so much watching your concert. I was like, whoa, man, this is a great opportunity. Yeah, that restaurant opened many doors for me. That was actually magical for me. That really transformed my career.
But you also, you wrote some beautiful songs, bro. I mean, you wrote some great original music, and that was another part of it. Was the fact that you te pusiste original, and I think that that's
Yeah.
something that always is very, very important for an artist, and for you that creativity, brother. I mean,
Sorry.
that's all right. But for you, writing a song, you know what I mean? Is it a natural thing, or do you have to really work at it?
Actually, when I used to live in Cuba, I never wrote a song. I always have ideas, but I was so shy and I didn't know how was the process of writing a song, composing, how the parameters were. I was not, I didn't know nothing about it. When I got in United States in 1998, when I did my first album, actually before I decided to do my first album, I started composing one song called Conciencia, and the other one was Música. Those were my first two original songs for my group, and I put it on the first album. And then after, I released that record, people were telling me, why you don't trying to, add more original song to your album, to your music. And then I start writing like crazy. So in my second album, I had 4 songs. And then in the last one, I have almost all the songs. I almost write all of them. So I'm getting more comfortable, composing, writing, and doing the arrangements for my,
But I think it's great. One of
my
the
record.
over at the radio station, we love those records that you did with Alfredo Rodriguez because you
Oh, all
guys
that original music too, all that.
and you guys are so good together. Just the two of you make so much music together, which I think is
Yeah.
great, man.
Yeah, that duo, the name of the duo is Duo.
Do a
And
lot.
that's a
I mean, you
beautiful
guys.
project. It's not Alfredito, someone that I love a lot, and he's something, he's something else. He's very special
Well, I
and
think it's
talented.
going to be very special, Pedrito, when you come to San Francisco, May the 4th. Tell us, what are you going to be presenting for the people, man? And this is not your first time, so I'm sure that you're coming in with some nice surprises for folks.
Oh yeah,
What-
definitely. I've been presenting some music that are not even that is not even out. It's not even out from my new album. We are working in a new record, in a new album. I mean, and it's almost done. I'm gonna play a couple of songs from the album that is not even out, and then I'm going to play the music from my latest album titled Acertijos.
Mm.
From and I'm gonna, most of the music is gonna be original. I know people are gonna ask for a few songs like La Luna, Que Palo, but we're gonna make sure that we play all original songs.
Yeah, that's beautiful,
and
man.
always surprise the audience with some new things that we incorporate already from other albums that I did in the
Well,
past, especially the one that I did tribute to Camarón de la Isla,
oh yeah, oh
Rumba de la
yeah,
Isla. I'm gonna play
yeah.
a couple of songs from that
I think it's
record.
going to be a great show, man. You know, they also have a wonderful opening act, La Dame Blanche from
Yeah,
France. You
yeah,
know,
yeah. We did a concert together in New Orleans with Sima
ah,
Fong. She's very talented.
no, I think it's going to be great, man. ¿No quieres mandar un mensaje para todos los cubanos y los oyentes
Latino,
y latinos que habla de habla hispana que son tus fanáticos? Mándales un mensaje.
compatriota. Nada, Pedrito Martínez por aquí. Les mando un cariño grandísimo, mucho amor. Y nada, espero verlos y me llena de gran regocijo, inmenso placer poder compartir en San Francisco, ahí en Yerba Buena Gardens, uno de los festivales más representativos de la zona, con todos mis hermanos queridos. Espero que Jesús Díaz vaya por ahí, y muchos de los que conozco que siempre van a verme, hermanos y amigos y seguidores. Nada, estamos súper contentos. El grupo también tiene varios integrantes nuevos que están súper excited de ir a West Coast ahí y romperla, pasarla bien y encender ahí Yerba Buena.
Para romper el coco, man.
Seguro, así mismo. Así mismo, ahora Chucho está haciendo la gira de 50 años de Iraquere. Yo creo que están haciendo ese tema también, a romper el coco.
A romper el coco, sí, no, lo fui a
Muy
ver
bien.
ahí en San Francisco, Jazz, y era tremendo. Pero, mano, te doy las gracias por tomar el tiempo para hablar y
No, es un honor, un placer.
y nos vamos a ver allá el 4 de mayo, lo voy a pasar acá en la emisora y también tengo un artículo que voy a escribir y ahí te presento eso cuando llegues allá. Pero bueno, mano, gracias y que
Un
tengas
placer.
un buen gig con Jan Bautista ahí en Coachella, ¿ok?
Muchísimas gracias, hermano. Chao.
Mucho amor, man, mucho amor.
Bye.
Afina el aroma, mamita. Afina el aroma, mamita. Afina el aroma. La marihuana está sabrosa, está calientita. Afina el aroma. Dame mi ceviche de pescado, como me gusta guau. Y mi cremita volcada, que no venga de costado. Mami, te tengo una propuesta, vamos a hacer un trato. Mientras yo afino mi camo, prepárame mi comida. No te me pongas brava, no me tires la bendita. Si tú eres la que me mata, sé que yo soy tu cosita. Venga, abrázame.